Alrighty, folks, it is time to address the elephant in the room. No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the price of cruising in 2023. The price for cruising in 2023 is going up. Things that used to be included are now coming at a charge. Services are being altered and lessened. The overall value equation for cruising is being altered and not in a good direction. So the real question now is cruising worth it in 2023? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, Rob from Sea-kers, and welcome to our show tonight. Now, I've been thinking about this video for quite some time now, probably the better part of a month, trying to figure out a way to talk about how the price of cruising with its increase is affecting the value of cruising. We're going to go through it all, folks. We're going to go through the reasons why this is happening. We're going to talk about what the cruise lines are doing. And finally, we're going to say, is cruising worth it or not at the end? We're going to do this in a nice, easily digestible way. I didn't want to do piecemeal as things change from this cruise line and this cruise line and this cruise line, because it just seems like it's information overload. We're going to look at this holistically now today. So we're going to go through what they're doing, why they're doing it, and then finally, is it still a good value to get on a cruise ship? So let's start off with, why are they doing this? Now, a lot of people want to know, why are cruise lines increasing pricing? There's a lot of reasons, folks. Not only is it because of the pandemic and all of the debt that they took on, we all know about that. We also have a lot of inflationary pressure going on here. The price of food, the price of gas, the price of meat, all those things are causing an upward pressure on the price of cruises. There's also a supply side issue with labor. People who used to work on the cruise ship during the pandemic went on with their lives. They found other jobs. So now the cruise lines need to bring new people in, and they are not willing to work for the price that the other people were working for. And finally, there's a demand issue here too, folks. We have all been stuck in our houses for a long period of time during the last 2 years, and people are finally getting out of their houses and looking for experiences versus buying things with their money. They're done with buying things. They did that all through the pandemic. That's causing a demand pressure to say, you know what, there's not enough rooms on these cruise ships for all the demand. That's going to cause the prices to go up. Add all these things together, you start to really get a good understanding why the pricing of cruising is going up. So now let's talk about what the cruise lines are doing to address all these increases in costs. Well, they're touching everything. Every facet of cruising is being touched with their price quotient during this period of time. Just everything is on the table for the cruise lines, trying to figure out how to make the balance sheet work. We're going to talk about how they're changing their fares, how they're changing their promo costs, how they're changing their package costs, how they're changing their a la carte costs, how they're changing their service fees, how they're changing the service in general, how they're changing their labor and staffing, how they're changing their entertainment. All these things are on the table for the cruise line in order to make the balance sheet work. We're going to go through each and every one of these things on their own so we can get a real good understanding of what type of changes are happening for each specific area. Let's start off with the cruise fares. If one was to look at cruise pricing now compared to, say, a year ago, on average, we're seeing about a 10% increase in the cruise fare price. Now, overall, that's not too bad when you take a look at what inflation has been over the last year, right? We've been seeing 6, 7, 8% increases in pricing per month. This is not too bad to have a 10% increase over the year, but this is not the only thing that cruise lines are increasing, the fares. They're not just increasing the fares. They're increasing a lot of different things. So when you add everything up as a whole, that makes it a little bit different, and you take a look at the overall cost getting closer and closer to, a significant increase in pricing. One can probably very easily say right now that those $29 a night cruises are no longer going to happen. They are a thing of the past. So goodbye $29 a night cruises. It was nice knowing you. Now, one of the most dramatic increases that we've seen over the last, say, 6-7 months has been in increases in the daily service fees, also known as the automatic gratuities. Some lines have seen upwards of well over 25% increases in gratuities. Other lines on average has been anywhere between 15% to 20% over this period of time with this increase. This is helping address their problem with labor. They need to pay their labor more. This is how they are doing it. And hopefully we can say these gratuities are going to even out for the foreseeable future. So now let's talk about cruise packages. Cruise packages are something that you can purchase when you're booking your cruise, or even after you booked and you're doing it through a cruise planner. I'm talking about the Celebrity All-Included package, or the Hal's Best Deal Ever package, or Princess's, I think they call it the Princess Premier or the Princess Plus. They are these things where they bundle, say, drinks packages and Wi-Fi and gratuities all in one. It used to be that you can purchase these, bundled packages for $50 per person per night. Not anymore, folks. We're seeing about a 20% increase to where these things were before. We're talking $60 a night. And if you said, all right, I'm not going to do the bundle packages now, we're going to just get a drinks package. Well, the drinks packages are increasing significantly as well. Almost as much, if not more, than these total bundled packages. Not too long ago on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Planner, I was able to probably book a drinks package on a 7-night Caribbean cruise for about $57 a night per person. Now this was just last year, in the beginning of last year. I now have a cruise coming up at the end of April, and I have not seen that drinks price go below $77 per person per night. It's a significant increase there as well. People say, you know what? Forget all of this. I'm not going to do any bundled packages. I'm not going to buy any drinks package. I'm going to just do this all a la carte. Well, they're going to get you there too. Drink prices are increasing by about $1, $2 per drink. But in general, that's not as steep as a percentage increase. So if you're going to go through that way and you're a light drinker, that's probably your best choice here. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the service changes, starting off with food services. Food services are changing a lot. The main dining room, their menus are getting more restrictive. The situation with lobster tails, right? You want an extra lobster tail, you're gonna get an extra fee. You want a third entree, you're gonna get an extra fee. You want to get filet when you go to teppanyaki, it's not gonna be filet, it's gonna be skirt steak or maybe a New York strip. Lots of changes to reduce the cost of the food is being implemented, and it's not just the main dining room, it's also the buffet. The buffet has become restricted as well. What used to be a crazy smorgasbord is now just basically a shadow of what it used to be. It's still good. I'm not saying that the food is not good and the quality is not good and what you can choose is not a decent amount of options there. It's just not nowhere near as what it used to be. And the final change that they're doing in food services comes with room service. We have seen situations where certain cruise lines now are charging a la carte for their room service, where beforehand you just had a room service fee. We've also seen situations where you got a continental breakfast for free when you got on the cruise. It's now coming with a fee instead of just being complimentary. Whoa, that was a decent amount of information, and we got a little bit more to go. But before we get into that, I would just love to invite people who are not currently a member of the Cruise Seekers crew. Think about subscribing and turn that little notification bell on. This way you can be part of the In the Know crowd too. You get to know when we put out new videos. You get all the information that we talk about here, how to get the most value from your cruise vlogs, cruise reviews, specialty dining reviews, you name it, you will find it here. Thank you so much. It's very appreciated to us. So remember, hit that subscribe button and turn that little notification bell on. Next up, talking about how the service to your cabin is changing, right? Beforehand, we used to have 2 cabin stewards, one the main cabin steward and one assistant. That's becoming just one. And guess what? That one guy or gal, that person is going to have a whole lot more cabins to deal with than what they had to deal with before. So what that means, it's going to be harder to get a hold of them if you need something. They're going to be run ragged. It's going to be just different. The level and quality of service that you're going to get is probably going to be diminished. And also another big change that the cruise lines are doing, they're going to ask you, do you want a morning service or an evening service? 2-a-day services of your cabin is becoming a thing of the past on some of the mainstream lines. Oh, another little odd thing too, what I see in the cabins too, is last time I got into the shower and they had this one bottle that said a triple body wash / shampoo / conditioner. That was weird. That was very weird. I'm like, I've never seen a body wash that's also a conditioner and also shampoo. I don't know how that works, folks, but I know one thing. probably saving them money. And now the final thing we're going to talk about with the changes in cruising is how entertainment is changing on the cruise ships. I have seen some lines decide to have, instead of 2 production shows, go to 1. Or if one certain production show is a little bit too costly, let's get rid of that. Let's bring in something a little less costly. There's been also situations where there used to be 2 headliners, right? You might have gotten a magician and maybe a singer on a cruise for a 7-night cruise. Now you're just going to get the 1 headliner, just the singer, or maybe just the magician. It's definitely changing in the entertainment front. I've also noticed the number of ensembles and soloists that you used to see on the cruise lines is no longer the same amount that it used to be. It used to be a situation where you would wonder, I want to go see this one, or I want to go see this one, or I want to go see this group. Now, it's not as many choices. It's usually just a Latin band and a rock band, or maybe an ensemble of quartets or a jazz band. The number of people that are in the entertainment field on the cruise line has definitely taken a hit. Alrighty, big question time, folks. Is it still worth it to go cruising? Short answer, yes. I still believe fully that cruising gives you the most value for your money, the most value for your vacation dollar. You got the most options. You go on a cruise ship, you got choices of 20 different restaurants to go and eat. You go to a land-based vacation, you might have an option of 3 at an all-inclusive resort. You go on a cruise ship, you got maybe 5 or 6 different shows that you can see. You go to a land-based all-inclusive resort, you might get 2 or 3 shows, and none of them are going to be Broadway production shows. So the value of cruising is definitely still there. Now, because of all these options, right, it has an intrinsic value, something that's really hard to put a dollar amount in front of. And cruising definitely has that value going for it. But you know what? The prices are still going up, and it's changing the way people are cruising. Many vet cruisers who used to go on 2 or 3 or 4 cruises a year are now going on 1, 2, maybe 3. They're lowering the amount of times to get out to the sea, and they're going to spend a little bit more money on each one to stay within their budget. The other thing these vet cruisers are doing, they used to be a very loyal bunch, right? They would stick with one cruise line. They are an X cruise line person, and they will just stay with X. Now it's no longer X. It could be X, Y, or Z. Whoever gives me the best deal, that's where I'm going. They don't care anymore. They want to get out to the sea, and they want to get out as many times as they can. And so loyalty is going out the window. So there you go, folks. That is my assessment of the changes that are happening on cruising in 2023. We went through all the reasons why the cruise lines are doing it. We also went through how they're changing. We also finally said, is it worth it? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It's so important for that. And if you have any comments or questions about how cruising is changing, please leave the question down below. We love comments. We answer to all questions. We talk back on every comment. We love engaging with our community. Again, if you're not a member of the Cruise Seekers crew, please think about subscribing and turn the notification bell on. It's so appreciated by us, and we thank you so much for doing that. So until we talk again next time, this is Rob from Cruise Seekers reminding each and every one of you to always seek the seas. Bye now.